What's going on, everyone? I'm Zach, your host of the Aux Podcast, and today I want to talk about why it's beneficial to talk to people who are different than you. I don't want to make this a political thing because I don't think that it's political. There are a lot of things going on, especially in America right now with the cancel culture, the 2020 election coming up, and this whole idea that if you talk to people who are different than you automatically agree with everything that that side has to say just by sitting down with someone else and talking to them, or maybe there's a picture of you and another person. Automatically, people assume that you just write a huge checkpoint over everything that that person has said. So this does have to do a little bit with the cancel culture. Cancel culture. I can't talk. Cancel culture. That's a new one. But yeah, this is more why I think it's in your long-term best interest to talk to people who are different than you. The first and most obvious point, I think, is that it expands your worldview. You are learning from other people when you talk to people that are different than yourself and that have different ideas, come from different backgrounds, have had different experiences. If you're only surrounding yourself with people who have come from the same background, that think the same way, you're not expanding your view and your understanding. And it's not to say that everyone you come into contact with you have to agree with, but you can at least try to understand where that person is coming from. So even if you don't agree with them, you now understand how someone else can think that way based on something they've been through when they were a kid, maybe something, terrible happened to them, or they were raised by parents who thought a certain way, or they worked a job that taught them to do something. Whatever it is, you now have an understanding, and then from that understanding you then can decide whether to add that into your own worldview and have an opinion on it, whether you agree or disagree, or just leave it at the understanding level and have that in your base of knowledge, your base of ways to evaluate what's going on in the world. The second thing I want to talk about is something that Jordan Peterson has touched on, and it's that talking to people who are different than you and having a conversation is not just a matter of opinion. People experience things differently. They actually experience and see things differently based on their experiences and biology. Their experiences and biology form the way that they see and respond to things that happen to them, things that happen in the world. It's not just a matter of surface level opinion. I think this, you think that. People are different at the core, and people are forming the way that they see the world from that core. For example, conservatives and liberals, whatever side you're on, whatever side you more align with, conservatives tend to build barriers and liberals tend to want to break barriers down. Both have value and both have gone too far. We've seen what the destruction of liberal thinking looks like when it goes too far, and the same thing with conservative thinking when it goes too far. And this isn't every liberal or conservative, but on average, conservatives like to build walls. They like to build barriers and separate things, and liberals want to break down those barriers. And that's just a difference in the way of thinking. That's why, a lot of liberals are people that are in the creative fields. They want, for example, they want to break things down. They can see things in ways that a lot of conservatives can't, because they just have a different way of looking at the world. So by expanding your worldview, by talking to other people that see things differently than you are learning how other people think and understanding how other people think that are at the core built differently than you. It's not just a surface level opinion. These are biologies and experiences that have shaped the way that other people are moving through the world. The third thing is learning from other people's mistakes. And you can do this from books, you can do this from podcasts. This doesn't have to be in person. But for me, one of the best ways that I avoid mistakes or pitfalls in the podcasting industry example is by reading about other people who have come before me that are podcasters or other big podcasters or people in media. You can read about people that have had different experiences than you and then take the things from their experience that are valuable, write them down, think about them, expand on them in your own way, and make their life a part of yours without having lived through what they lived through. You can take the things that they learned and incorporate them into your life to avoid the same mistakes. And this will save you so much fucking time. If you read, if you listen to podcasts, and again, you don't have to agree with everything that you hear or that you read, but you can at least understand it. And often you will come across people that say, hey, I did this for 3 years and I shouldn't have done that. It cost me so much extra fucking time. I wish I didn't do this, but hey, I just want to let you know that if you are in this industry or you're on this path, don't do this or do this, and it will save you a shit ton of time. And that information is so, so valuable. So that is why that you should talk to people who are different than you. It will expand your worldview. You learn how people see the world different, and you will learn from other people's mistakes, which will save you so much time. So yeah, thank you for listening, guys, and I will see you next time.